Gemini. So you Geminis have the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and you Geminis have the Queen of Cups. So you Geminis, right? I'm just checking out some of the other cards. Um, you Geminis are a little bit apprehensive about putting yourselves forward, but you're doing it anyway. You understand that, hey, things have happened to you in the past, but they're not necessarily anything that should really stop you from trying to get to know brand new people, right? And the Queen of Cups represents you, because you Geminis know that you really want somebody, like I've been saying. So there's definitely a sense of you not being afraid to talk to others. You really putting yourselves out there, because a lot of you Geminis understand that if you don't do it, then another person won't do it, right? They're not gonna do it themselves. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Empress right here is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you very much so have to understand that the Knight of Pentacles, the Empress, like a lot of you Geminis understand that, slow and steady wins the race. That you'll find someone that's a good match for you when you actually find them. It's not always about like putting so much pressure onto the situation by trying to choose up. It's more so about what the person already has in them, right? What they value, and allowing both your value system and their value system to actually align with one another. And if it simply doesn't align, then it is what it is. There's no point in really putting yourself in a messed up situation in the first place. And a lot of you Geminis are right to think that, because that's exactly what it is. The Hierophant and the Nine of Swords speaks to how a lot of you Geminis are not going to force the situation like I've been talking about. And that if you and another person share similar values, then that's something that you will discuss, and they will show you, in essence, right? They will show you, because they will actually show up for those things, those things that make the two of you spiritually and mentally bonded together, for those type of activities. The things that you have in common, what you say that you like to do. If the two of you both like, I don't know, watching anime or whatever, the two of you, this person can watch anime in your place, and the two of you can talk and just chill out just like that and eat some popcorn, and get to know each other even more. Simple like that. As simplistic as that seems, that's actually a real heavy thing, because the two of you actually like anime. This is something that the two of you can legitimately bond over. Like I said before, this is what, on the balloon popping show, this is what those two individuals were able to bond over. Both of them really like anime, while other people was rejecting the dread, right? The dreadhead. There was one person that didn't. Why? Because they shared similar values. As far as I know, I hope they stay together, and I hope it's real, between the two of them. But they're still together the last time I checked. And that's how it is that you should be paying attention to see if you're compatible with someone. Is pay attention to see what the two of you have in common. That is what bonds the two of you together, right? And the more things organically that the two of you have in common, is the better it is for the both of you. So now the Justice, the Four of Swords, and the Five of Swords right here, right? These are the last three cards on the main board. The Justice right here represents how, like if they're not for you, then they're not for you. You shouldn't have to waste so much of your time thinking about if someone is compatible with you, for you. That's not something that a person, or you Geminis in general, should be wasting your time thinking about. Like if the two of you don't share similar values, if they don't want to hang out with you, if they're trying to come up with reasons why they don't have the time to ever reach out to you ever, if they're not reaching out to you first sometimes, now you should reach out to them sometimes, they should reach out to you. But if it seems one-sided, and you'll know the difference between when someone is putting in an effort or when it is one-sided, because you'll be the one that's doing the majority of the things, the majority of the activities. You'll be the one that is actually reaching out more than the other person is. If you put yourself in a position, or if you find yourself in a position, Geminis, where you're the one that's doing that, then it means that you're trying to force the situation. And that's the reason why it is that you shouldn't try to force it at all. Because what's going to happen here is you're setting yourself up for a broken heart when you try to force the situation. Because maybe the person likes you, maybe they don't like you, right? But at the same time, they're dysfunctional. They like you, but they're corrupted. So they can't like you all the way in a functional manner. These people are crazy. There's no way that they're going to do that. So crazy is going to do what crazy does, right? And be crazy, be all over the place, be wild. The Four of Swords represents how you Geminis have to put an end to this. So if you Geminis right now are getting to know anybody that is giving you kind of like the runaround, right? The rigmarole, then you should probably stay away from them, because all they're going to show you is how messed up they actually are, how dysfunctional they are. So now the Five of Swords right here is about how, it probably got real serious real quick in a conflicting kind of way. But I'm gonna let you know right now, Geminis, for sure, 100%, that they're not gonna stop. This is gonna be the foundation of the relationship. There's a lot going on outside, but this is going to be that level of conflict, because the Five of Swords represents conflict. This level of conflict that you have is going to be a regular thing in a relationship with someone who is dysfunctional, because to them, their idea of how they keep a relationship going is to cause bacchanal, mischief, problems, catastrophes, conflict. That's the reason why it is that it seems like this person is always starting with you. And this is why it is that I say, right, my dear Geminis, that at the end of the day, it's stupid. Because how on one hand you go and build generational wealth, right, on one hand, but on the other hand, you trying to start fights and mischief and bacchanal with the other person. There's no way that's going to happen, because the same amount of, like, for instance, right, like parallel universes, right? In one universe, that in this one where the person is creating mischief and problems with you, for you, giving you a hard time, they could have been using the same energy in another universe or in this one, but they could have been using the same kind of energy to actually create that generational wealth that they bellyache, that they want so much. So how is that supposed to work? The answer is that it can't. Because in order for generational, all the stuff that people say that they want, it has to be a level of peace in order to do that. You can't be spending so much time bickering and arguing, because when are you going to find the time to invest? If all of your energy and focus, right, and your time is to get back to things being good between the two of you, where there is no conflict, and the things between the two of you are harmonious again, right, peaceful, when is it going to be a good time, or a time where you can manage your asset portfolio, right, or whatever amount of assets you have, and and build generational wealth that way, but then at the same time constantly go through a bickering and arguing situation where the person is constantly thinking and fantasizing about different ways to betray you, to get over on you, to fool you. You can't. And this is what I mean when I say you can't serve two masters. So let's clarify the Five of Swords. Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, the High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Yes, relationships have to be a two-way street, and for the most part, they do, in fact, have to be very much so peaceful. The High Priestess, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands speaks to, because if it's not, then it's not going to work out. So don't you, Geminis, dare waste your time on someone who is petty like that.